Right, I'm going to have a look at this, and this is a Schmidt and Bender Klassik 1.5 to 6x42 scope. Now, Schmidt and Bender make their Klassik line range in Germany and in Hungary, and there's almost no difference at all between them, to be honest. In fact, I don't think there is any difference between them. But nonetheless, this is a German-made one. And really, this about sums up the ethos of the sort of scope I like, really, at the moment. It's got phenomenally good optics. German glass throughout, shot glass, German glass throughout. Schmidt and Bender's top-notch coating technology on the lenses. And it's got a really solid build quality to it. It really has. It feels solid as a rock. You look through one of these, optical clarity is superb. The image is great, brightness is really good, crystal clear right to the edges. Everything you would expect from a Schmidt and Bender, but in the Klassik line. Now the Klassiks are the cheap sort of entry levels of the Schmidt and Bender world, I suppose. And really, they don't skimp on the lenses. The lenses and the coatings are top notch. The reason they're cheap, or cheaper rather, because no Schmidt and Bender are cheap, but they're cheaper, is because they don't have the features that some people may be looking for on the more expensive scopes. So you don't get bullet drop compensating turrets. You don't get sort of click stop lockable turrets or anything like that. You don't get a particularly fancy reticule. There's no illumination. So really, it's basically a solid, optically superb but fairly basic telescopic sight. There's also no parallax on this one. Now, a lot of people will throw their hands up in horror at the thought of no parallax, but if you think back, at one time parallax was unheard of in scopes, and we managed quite comfortably. And I think the reason for that is because we kept the magnification range low and the objective lens to a reasonable size. So the lower the magnification and the smaller the objective lens, the less effect parallax has. So on a scope like this, where you're looking at 1.5 up to an absolute maximum of 6, I actually prefer to hunt at round about 3.5 times mag. I've always found that 3.5 times mag suits hunting better. Not necessarily for target shooting, but certainly for hunting, because you get a much bigger field of view. You get much less noticeable wobble from the scope, and you get plenty enough magnification over, especially air gunning ranges, to hunt with. And at 3.5 times magnification with a fairly small 42mm objective lens, parallax error is insignificant, to put it mildly. You'd possibly only notice it if you were trying to do something like bench rest shooting with it. But for hunting purposes, it's insignificant. And I've had several scopes that I've had massive success with that have not had parallax error because they've had a very low mag range. One of them being my Swarovski, and the other one being my Leica. And I had I can't remember what the other one was. Anyway, so low mag, fairly small objective lens, and really parallax error is insignificant. If you're shooting at 10 times, 12 times or above, then yes, parallax error does play a fair old part in it. But keep the magnification down and the objective lens size down, and it plays an insignificant part. And the advantage of top-notch optics is, of course, that you don't need a particularly large objective lens. This is super clear. The clarity is amazing. Colour rendition is phenomenal. The optics are absolutely superb. Really, really superb. Easily on a par with the Swarovski and the Leica, and getting up there towards the IOR scopes, but at a fraction of the cost. IOR's a brilliant value, by the way, superb value. But you can get these Klassiks for probably half the cost of an IOR, which is really good. But it is, if you're one of these people that wants a scope with all the bells and whistles, if you want bullet drop, compensating turrets, illuminated rets, multiple aim points in your ret and all the rest of it, then this definitely will not be the scope for you, because it's got none of those things. It's really, really straightforward. It really is. It's just such a simple but beautifully constructed scope. So it's got a rubber zoom ring, which is beautifully weighted. Really nice, really smooth, super smooth finish to it. It's really slick. It feels like a proper precision instrument. Quick focus, again, rubber tipped, as per many German-made scopes. It's got what I think they call an A7 ret, which is 3 thick. I'll just see if I can get to see what it looks like. I might not be able to. Let me see if I can. I can't. No, I can't. Can't film through it, unfortunately. Basically, it's 3 really heavy posts and a fourth very thin post at the top, and then in the middle a very fine crosshair. It's first focal plane scope as well. So the higher the mag, the thicker the ret. The lower the mag, the thinner the ret. It runs from 1.5 up to 6, and 1.5 it is the centre crosshairs are very, very fine, but up at 6 it's not too thick at all. It's perfectly usable. So I would say that across the range they've got it absolutely right. Turrets are very simplistic, but nonetheless really well made. The caps are lovely, and they've got like a rubberized an O-ring or something in the bottom of them so that they're sealed. As you can see, standard left, right, or high and low. Lovely discernible click. And this second gauge here shows you where you are in the range of adjustment that you've got on the turret. So it shows you when you're sort of central, and then that little black dot moves around as you wind it to its extremes, either high or low, which is very handy because it gives you an idea of whether your scope is properly aligned in the mounts and with your rifle barrel, because if you need to go too much either way, it's not good for the erector tube. So exactly the same on both. Top quality as well. You see exactly the same thing. So left, right, and again it shows you middle, and then right over to the left, right over to the right. It's quite handy actually, because it shows whether you're pushing your scope to its extremes of its adjustment, which is not good for the scope and tends to indicate that there's either something wrong with the mounting on your rifle or something wrong with your barrel. So it's a handy little feature, that is actually. Gloss black anodizing. This scope's seen a fair bit of use, to be fair, but the anodizing keeps up well. Nitrogen purged, so it's waterproof, fog proof, just about everything proof really. And when you pick it up, you definitely get a feeling that you're handling something that's a quality product. It's got a reasonable heft to it. It's not particularly heavy, but it's got a reasonable heft to it, and it just feels, everything about it feels like a quality item. Schmidt and Bender obviously have got a phenomenally good name in the optics world. Their scopes are used by the military, by the police, Like countless hundreds of hunters, thousands of them have used Schmidt and Benders, and these classic scopes have been around for a huge amount of time, years and years and years, decades, the classic range. So, you know, they're just faultless. They've been around so long. Any little problems that there were with them, or possibly could have been with them, not that there were any, I don't think, right from the start, have been well and truly ironed out. They're bomb proof. What you're paying for is a basic telescopic sight, but top quality. Everything is top quality. Like I say, this scope's quite old. This scope's probably 10 years old. And yet still, everything is super slick, super smooth, and the optics are phenomenally good. So there you go. So if you're after a fairly straightforward, no frills, but top quality scope, these Schmidt and Bender Classic lines are really good. And these lower, the lower magnification ones are extremely good for air gunning. You get, you know, if you set this on 1.5, it's a crystal clear image at sort of under 10 yards even. Absolutely crystal clear. Even 2.5, 3 times mag, under 10 yards, it's crystal clear. It's superb. The optics in these are flipping brilliant. Really good. So yeah, top notch bit of kit. Really impressed with the scope. Like I say, I bought this second hand. Well, I bought it. I think it was third hand. And nothing but praise for it. It's just a brilliant hunting scope. So there you go, Schmidt and Bender Classic line. 1.5 to 6x42, made in Germany. Beautiful bit of kit. Fairly inconspicuous turrets, and no saddle to speak of. So easy to mount as low as you like on your rifle. Beautiful bit of kit. Thanks for watching.